All right. Good morning, trade pros. Welcome to the morning market update for Friday, December the 21st of 2018. This is Santa from Trade Pro Academy. I got a busy week ahead. Me and my elves are going to deliver a few things. And yeah, I can't even pretend to be Santa. What is this thing? Hope you guys are having a good day. It's the last day of the full week. It's the last day of the last full week of 2018. How about that, Victorio and Marky? 2018 is coming to a close rapidly. Yesterday we had a really big sell-off. Today is something called the quad witch. If you're trading and you look up and you see four witches on brooms, that's today. So basically, the quad witch is when futures. Well, let's go through the top. There's four things expiring at the same time. All right, options on stocks, on the individual stocks, options on the indices, futures on indices, and futures on stocks. So these are the four things that expire today at the same time. So there's going to be some volatility. Quad witch days are characterized by days in which these contracts expire. So traders have the choice of rolling forward or closing them out. And throughout the day, as we approach the closing bell, you're going to have more and more volatility. It could get nonsensical sometimes. I'm going to warn you guys on quad witch days. There's volatility, and sometimes it's not the opportunistic kind. Knowing like volatility is going and you're doing good, you're like, this is great. Kind of like the day before yesterday on the Fed day. That's good volatility. Bad volatility is it's moving up and down and there's no real reason to it. It doesn't matter that there's a support or a pivot. The market doesn't care because some traders are trying to delta hedge or bring their portfolio back to delta neutral for the end of the year and into the expiry. So I'm going to tell you this, be cautious today. And if you haven't traded a quad witch, it's different out there. And some traders thrive off of this. Some people really don't. Some people do bad on these quad witch days. And if you don't know which one you are, that's who I'm speaking to the most. Be careful because you're going to find out. And yeah, you gonna learn today. You got to learn by starting with smaller size. So trade with smaller scale. I'm probably going to be doing less contracts than usual today. Morning market fun fact. So far this month, the Dow Industrials has had an average daily move of negative 0.84%. It's crazy if you think about it. It's on pace for the worst month since October of 1987 when we had the huge stock market crash. So that's interesting to hear. Now, back to Quad Witch. If you want to learn more about Quad Witch, hit the link below in the description. We've included a video for you that goes into a little bit more detail. All right, overnight levels, the S&P 500 yesterday opened at 24.93 quarter, which was below the 2500s. We hit a previous low of 24.41, so down 52 handles in a bit. We hit the overnight low at 24.67. So the overnight low tonight has actually been higher than the previous day's low, which is starting to form a little bit of a bullish pattern, at least temporarily. The pivot is still above at 24.81. There's also some VWAPs up there. And 25.02 ultimately is the day session resistance to the upside. I think today we could get a little bit of upside momentum as short sellers have to get out of their contracts. If they're short the December, we're officially rolling over to March. If you're short December, you got to buy it to close it out. All right. And I think that a lot of traders long the spoos on the December contract have already been stopped out. And if they added to their position, it was probably the March contract anyways. So it's going to be interesting to see what takes place here throughout the day. There's going to be some chop and volatility. I see a little bit of upside today to end the week, a little bit of optimism heading into Christmas. We didn't get that Christmas rally, though. How about that? The first time in a long time. Oil prices, previous day lows of 45.67, overnight lows at 45.13. Oil prices are forming lower lows and lower highs. Resistance overhead of 45.75. Target to the downside today at 44.61. Sell rallies on oil. I see more weakness coming out. All right, in today's markets in Asia, Japan's down 1.1%. Hong Kong's up 0.5%. China's down 0.8%. India's down 1.9%. In Europe at midday, London is flat. Paris is flat. Frankfurt is also flat. That's not true. I think they misquoted this numbers. I don't know what the European market did, but it looked like it was down as well. Futures in the morning, Dow's down 0.5%. S&P's down 0.5%. Nasdaq's also down 0.6%. So equities are starting out the end of the week on a bearish note. Bitcoin is up 7.2%. Interesting stuff. The first futures contract that could be physically settled basically means that if you own a Bitcoin futures contract at the moment on the CME and you expire, you basically expire in cash. It's called cash settled. Whatever your gain or loss is, you receive the cash or it's withdrawn from your account if you're wrong. This new contract on the Intercontinental Exchange, short form for ICE. ICE, baby. will actually give you physical delivery of the futures of Bitcoin rather. So if you have one Bitcoin futures contract, you're gonna get one Bitcoin in physical delivery. If you have 0.002, then you get that, obviously. So you get the physical commodity, which is cool. In this case, it's not physical, it's still digital, but you get the crypto. All right. That's set for regulatory approval according to the CFTC, and that's putting a little bit of hype and optimism. Are you going downstairs? Oh, just curious. Maybe, then we're gonna double up on the. I don't know. I just noticed in the peripheral moving around. Tripped out a little bit. Here I am doing the most important morning market update of the year, and they've just left, both of them. I just up and left. I can just picture you all now at home doing the same. All right. All right. Today's economic calendar. We have 10 a.m. personal income and outlays, 10 a.m. consumer sentiment, 1 p.m. of Baker Hughes rig count. It's a tongue twister. That's going to be impactful for oil. It's going to show the offshore drilling and the rig counts in the United States. All right, stock markets around the world continue to slide today. Santa Claus rally, it doesn't look like it's happening. Everyone's going to blame this on the Federal Reserve, and I'm going to go ahead and not blame it on the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is doing what they should be and taking care of the economy and not the market. All right, they said that we're overheating and they want to put the brakes on a little bit. And I think this Federal Reserve chair doesn't care about the market as much as Janet Yellen did. No matter what Janet Yellen told you, she was a market woman. She would appease the equity markets and take pressure and act on it. Whereas Jerome Powell's not taking any of the pressure. He doesn't care, and he is pegging himself to the actual economy and not the stock market. And I think that unless we get a 30, 35% plus drop, the Fed ain't going to be there to backstop anything. And that's what the market didn't like in the last conference. Donald Trump today is also saying, or last night said that he's refusing to sign a stopgap measure, which means they're just going to temporarily fund the government until February 8th. So as of midnight tonight, the United States government will need to start shutting down branches of their operation because they're effectively out of money. They're bankrupt is one way to say it. The United States government's bankrupt unless they allow themselves to print more money and raise the spending limit. And so Donald Trump basically, there was an agreement. Donald Trump is now saying we need $5.7 billion for the wall. All right. And this wall just continues to increase in expenses. It was a $50 million wall. It was hundreds, 200 million, 500 million, 5 billion, 6 trillion. It's kind of like Austin Powers. I'll hold the world hostage unless you give me $1 million. And all the guys in the World Trade Organization are laughing. And then he's like, 100 billion trillion. Yeah. Yeah. They're like, ha, ha, ha. We'll give it to you right now. Anywho, so, oh, yeah. Some guy set up a page on GoFundMe to raise the money necessary for the wall. And he was at 4.8 million last I checked yesterday. Yeah, pull it up, see if you can do that. And as they do this, Donald Trump is failing to sign the stopgap bill requesting money for his wall. Jim Mattis, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, left yesterday. He resigned because Donald Trump pulled out. How much? 11 million so far raised on GoFundMe. Yeah, for the wall. Donald Trump might get his wall from GoFundMe. It might be the first political fundraise that goes successful. Who knows? I'm sure it's not the first. Bill Clinton pledged $10. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's interesting. Jim Mattis leaves, and that's over the fact that Donald Trump pulled some troops out of Syria. One of the guys in our room said something genius. His name, I'm not gonna give his last name because I haven't cleared the sample with him, but Dante is his name. Great guy. And I was going through yesterday. I was going to the gym, and I read some of the comments with the team. I love to go through the room. You guys, careful in the room what you type. I'm always watching. I was scrolling through, and he said, this could be an effort for him to bring the troops home to save money on that budget to use it to build the wall. I thought that was pretty smart. It's a pretty smart thing to say and think about. So I agree. It's interesting to see that. But Jim Mattis said, look, you're going to pull the troops out. I don't agree with the Syria strategy and withdrawing 14,000 troops from Afghanistan, not all at once. And he's doing it pretty quickly. The next 2 weeks, the troops should be home. And so Jim Mattis said, I don't agree with what you're doing, and I'm resigning. You deserve a Secretary of Defense who's on board with your strategy. So a lot of volatility heading into the end of the year, and markets need something The market just needs something to clutch onto. Nobody's giving it to them. And that's that. All right, today's quad witch, sell rallies. Look for equity weakness early on, but a recovery in the afternoon and into the close. I see a ramp going into the 4 p.m. close. Watch out for that. It's going to be an exciting day. It's the last day before Christmas, and I want to wish all of you celebrating Christmas a wonderful and magical and very festive holiday with your family. I will be on Monday, Tuesday, and even Wednesday just to come on and say hi to you guys. We'll do a live with some Q&A, and I'll wish you guys some festive cheer from my side, but from my family and yours over to your family and everybody you love out there. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Enjoy the time off, and be safe. Be safe. Have an enjoyable time. We worked really hard this year, and we deserve a few days off to just kick back and relax. Our trading rooms closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Back on Thursday. All right, guys, I appreciate you. Have a great weekend. Have a very Merry Christmas. And I'm going to turn around and open up the trading room for one last time for this week. Take care. Have a great day. Manage your risk at TRADEPRO. Okay, Trade Pros. A little verbose there, but it was fun. All right, $11 million. Who's going to pledge? Who wants the wall built so bad that you pledge on GoFundMe? For $11 million is not enough to even... you know what was interesting? Donald Trump requested that wall be made out of concrete and see-through. I don't know if he understands how materials work, but I mean, that would be innovation. Be very innovative. Okay, let's talk about some levels. I think the S&P 500 is going to give us some opportunity today. It's the last day of the week. It's quad witch. And we're also going to pull up the options platform, and I'll show you some levels where there's some open interest that could really be impactful for the rest of the session. So let's jump into it. I'll start the S&P 500. Victoria is going to do NAS, and then we'll bring it over to our oil desk for some coverage there.